There is a secret domain in military aviation that extends far beyond normal aircraft and is hidden from public view. These mystery planes above the clouds confound the U.S. aviation industry. They have kept themselves busy by attempting various initiatives that have left people intrigued and perplexed, and will be thrashing out the answers to everyone's questions regarding these unusual aircraft. Join us as we solve the enigma of the obviously extraterrestrial jets in our skies and the wild new UFO plane. According to U.S. scientists, Antelope Valley has historically been a hub for military outposts and government contractors in the U.S. defense industry. This 300-acre tract, located between Palmdale and Lancaster, California, includes the U.S. Air Force's 42N plan, as well as Skunk Works, Northrop Grumman, Boeing, and NASA's Armstrong Flight Research Center. Edwards Air Force Base is located to the north. A little further out is the U.S. Naval Base at China Lake. Not to mention the interesting Groom Lake location, which is a magnet for those looking for experiences with classified or otherworldly phenomena. The TR-3, a Black Manta, a hypersonic reconnaissance aircraft allegedly developed by the U.S. Air Force in partnership with Northrop, the makers of the renowned B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, is one of these fascinating objects. According to certain rumors, the Astra Aurora and the SR-91 projects could be the next generation of the renowned Lockheed ESR-71 Blackbird strategic reconnaissance aircraft. The TR-3AA, on the other hand, is more likely to have functioned as a forerunner to the Aurora project. The TR-3AE, unlike the Aurora, did not have prominent projecting wings. Instead, it was designed with increased stealth features, resulting in a pristine black triangle. It also has all of its surfaces covered with a radio observation-capable polymer. Using this polymer in conjunction with powerful electronic recognition technologies, the aircraft was able to modify its radar appearance. It could resemble a cylindrical or even a small flying object. This plane's main mystery is its power source. It was rumored that it would use a high-pressure, mercury-based system propelled by nuclear energy. This configuration created plasma, generating an almost full anti-gravity field surrounding the craft and lowering its weight by an astounding 89%. Some experts have detailed this arrangement in detail, stating that it includes a magnetic field disruptor, which is a circular plasma-filled accelerator ring. This technology was far superior to anything we could have imagined at the time. At a cold temperature of 150 Kelvin, the TR-3, a mercury-based plasma, was pressured to a mind-boggling 250,000 atmospheres. This plasma was then accelerated to 50,000 revolutions per minute, resulting in a superconducting plasma capable of manipulating gravity. To control its movement, the Black Manta appeared to ignore physical laws. The TR-3A was equipped with conventional thrusters at both ends, allowing it to maneuver quickly in 3 dimensions at speeds of up to Mach 9. The principal restriction of this aircraft was, unexpectedly, the pilot's physical limitations. It's difficult to argue with that. What's incredibly remarkable is that this triangular marvel was not just witnessed in the United States. Witnesses in Belgium recorded images of a mysterious craft with 4 brilliant lights in the early 1990s that was frequently misidentified as a UFO, but it was most likely the Black Manta. Some evidence suggests that during the Gulf War, this reconnaissance drone was utilized to provide laser targeting for Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk bombers, assisting them in delivering laser-guided bombs with precision. Some speculated that this strange aircraft was a research project, essentially a forerunner to the B-2 Spirit. It acted as a testing ground for aerodynamic ideas with the goal of improving the performance of the future bomber. It's worth mentioning that both of these planes were designed by Northrop, but the investment in the Black Manta was significant even when compared to the enormously expensive Spirits, which cost more than $3 billion at the time. The TR-3A is credited with a spate of technologies, some of which appear to be on the verge of science fiction even today. These include super-powerful, long-range combat lasers, the capacity to influence climate conditions within a certain radius, and the usage of extraterrestrial technologies at the heart of its creation, which authorities acquired following UFO sightings around the world. As previously stated, much of what is said nowadays might sound quite anti-scientific, While the TR-3A tail centers around a grounded, stealthy surveillance platform designed to serve alongside the F-117, the TR-3B claims take an unusual turn. The TR-3BE, unlike its turbojet-powered counterpart, is said to be propelled by a reverse-engineered anti-gravity drive retrieved from a crashed alien spacecraft. This is where claims of unexplained aerial phenomena, UAPs, doing seemingly impossible aerial feats collide with accounts of very genuine airplanes. Many stories concerning the TR-3B's development revolve around Operation Paperclip. At the end of World War II, the United States took in approximately 1,500 German scientists and engineers to continue research on various defensive technologies. In the post-war years, myths about superior Nazi technologies evolved, and the folklore around this anti-gravity platform became linked with charges of undervaluation. Wunderwaffe is a German word that means wonder weapon. This word was coined by Nazi Germany's propaganda ministry during World War II to denote a variety of revolutionary superweapons. It is important to note, however, that the majority of these weapons remained in the prototype stage. They either never arrived on the battlefield or arrived so late, or in such small numbers that they had little to no military impact. Despite how ridiculous the TR-3B claims may appear at first, there is considerable evidence to substantiate certain portions of them. For example, the anti-gravity drive's claim to power the TR-3B would require a massive power source considerably beyond what contemporary aircraft engines can deliver. Lockheed Martin, on the other hand, has a patent for containerized cold fusion reactors that they claim might be small enough to fit within an F-16 fuselage. However, there is more to this story. The most severe and, some could argue, implausible characteristics of the TR-3B could be explained by the work of a certain aerospace expert who is supposed to be working for the U.S. Space Force in 2020. The U.S. Navy made news after filing a series of patents that were extremely unorthodox. These patents ranged from gravitational wave generators to space-time modification weaponry, and they all had one thing in common: Dr. Salvatore Cesar Pais. Dr. Pais has an impressive resume. He has worked as a NASA Graduate Research Fellow, an Advanced Concepts Analyst with Northrop Grumman, and with the Department of the Navy Strategic Systems Program, according to his official biography. According to current rumors, he is now a member of the United States Space Force. As of today, it has been proven that the Navy has funded at least $466,000 to further Dr. Pais's work since 2017. A significant component of this work has been made public through 3 patents filed by the Navy. The first patent, craft using an inertial mass reduction device, was issued in 2016. The public availability of PISCES patents distinguishes them as particularly rare, since the passage of the Secrecy Act in 1951. Historically, the U.S. military has kept patents hidden from public view. However, the patents do not explain why the United States purportedly possessed this technology in the 1990s. Furthermore, even today, there is no clear indication that they have been turned into physical technology. Proponents of these ideas argue that the U.S. has been studying these systems for decades, and that they may be revealing their efforts through patents as a preemptive measure against foreign programs such as China's, which is thought to be on the verge of a significant breakthrough or through some form of public disclosure. While Salvatore Pais' work has the potential for revolutionary effects, there is currently insufficient evidence to validate his claims or establish the functionality of his patents within the scientific community. He surely has his detractors. When it comes to other iconic American stealth aircraft, the Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit stands out. The Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk is a critical component of the puzzle, without which the B-2 Spirit would have remained an idea on paper. This aircraft's construction was shrouded in such secrecy that even some high-ranking Pentagon officials were unaware of its existence. The mystery surrounding the F-117 Nighthawk inspired intriguing stories, and the mythology of the F-19 stealth fighter was formed as a result of relatively limited understanding about the jet and eyewitness claims of strange formations in the sky. It was assumed to be a non-existent fifth-generation aircraft, and it even appeared in model kits like the Revell monogram. Names like Hillary and Chester are linked with these kids, which are said to be based on images of the plane taken at Area 51. In the summer of 1986, a real Nighthawk crashed in California, making things even more exciting. Many media sites utilized a hobby store F-19 model to show what the fallen plane would have looked like. This, of course, increased popular interest in the F-19 mystique. Surprisingly, following these instances, one member of Congress, Ron Wyden, chose to ask Lockheed's officials about why an aircraft so cloaked in secret that even congressmen were ignorant of it was being widely sold as a model airplane. When the F-117 was ultimately presented in the fall of 1988, any idea that it was the same as the F-19 vanished. The adoption of the deceptive moniker F-117, where F signifies fighter, is thought to have been purposeful. This was done to keep the actual purpose of future American planes from the Soviet Union. 17's combat debut was made known after the F-100. The F-117 lost little time in establishing its capabilities after its public debut. During Operation Desert Storm, these stealth aircraft logged over 6,900 flying hours, flew 1,300 missions, and destroyed over 1,600 targets. The sole F-117 was shot down over Serbia in the spring of 1999. When the aircraft opened its bomb bay doors to deliver its payload during the NATO battle in Kosovo, enemy radar noticed it. Fortunately, the pilot safely evacuated and was recovered. The cockpit canopy, helmet, and ejection seat of the Nighthawk may now be shown in the War Museum in Belgrade. What's more, once the F-117 crashed in the People's Republic of China, they approached the Yugoslav authorities to request access to the wreckage. This gave them access to the engine nozzles, guiding systems, and several heat-resistant components. Agents from the People's Republic of China extensively examined the accident site where the Americans had gone, according to the former chief of Croatia's military headquarters. In their attempt to discover the secrets of stealth technology, people even resorted to buying plane components from local farms. The enigmatic Kandahar Beast is another sneaky device. Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works division created this drone, known as the Sentinel RQ-170 UAV, or just the Wraith, for the U.S. Air Force and the CIA. Despite the fact that these drones are actively monitoring the world's hotspots and capturing sensitive information, nothing is known about them. So much so that the U.S. Air Force would not confirm much. The RQ-170 Sentinel, which was effectively a single-engine flying wing, had a heavier takeoff weight than the ERQ-3 Dark Star, weighing in at 8,500 pounds. Interestingly, it lacked traditional stealth elements such as zigzag-edged landing gear, sharp leading edges, and exposed wing exhaust. Some media stated that these quirks were purposeful, a decision taken by designers because of concerns about operating losses associated with the single-engine design and a desire to avoid disclosing sophisticated stealth technology. Another feature that drew the attention of aficionados was its light gray hue, which suggested a possible altitude ceiling of up to 50,000 feet at higher elevations. Darker hues are often used in the United States to improve stealth. This UAV was deployed to Afghanistan in 2005, when one was observed near Kandahar International Airport, giving it the nickname Beast of Kandahar. During Operation Neptune Spear in 2011, at least one of these drones saw the attack on Osama bin Laden's compound, which resulted in bin Laden's death. During the same year, Iranian forces managed to capture one of these elusive robots after it strayed some 140 miles from the Iranian border, most likely on a surveillance mission on Iran's nuclear program. Iran claimed it could hack the drone while it was in the air, but U.S. authorities denied this allegation, attributing the capture to blocking the drone's signal, which caused it to land on its own owing to an internal malfunction with its takeoff and landing control systems. This was a major chapter in the continuing mystery surrounding these stealthy robots. In the winter of 2021, an American photographer got to shoot one of these drones south of Edwards Air Force Base. It was soon detected in Guam, generating discussion about possible enhancements like better sensors and synthetic aperture radar for missions over the South China Sea. The RQ-170 was spotted near Russia, during the severe Ukrainian war between September 2022 and February 2023, the most current reference to the UAV's activity. These drones look to be doing reconnaissance over the Black Sea, and they will most likely continue to keep an eye on the ongoing fighting. We may now go on to the bird of prey, an unusual aircraft developed in collaboration by McDonnell, Douglas, and Boeing. Beginning in the 1990s, it was given the moniker Bird of Prey because of its striking similarity to the Klingon starship from the popular Star Trek series. This is yet another dark endeavor using stealth. The Phantom Works, a Boeing internal division in charge of the military's most classified prototypes, was in charge of the project. A brief glance at the division's RSOM Vice President Alan Weichman discusses his former work with Lockheed and their legendary F-117 Nighthawk stealth aircraft, as well as the Sea Shadow stealth ship. Given this history, it's hardly unexpected that the Bird of Prey project was assigned to this crew. Purview's distinguishing characteristic was its low radar profile. This was accomplished via the use of an ingenious aerodynamic design that masked any holes in the aircraft. These gaps were disguised by flexible casings, while the cockpit landing gear, wings, and fuselage were precisely aligned to ensure that no piece protruded, contributing to the aircraft's excellent stealth qualities. Furthermore, the aircraft's engine air entrance was effectively hidden from view from the front. The engine was concealed by a streamlined cover deep beneath the fuselage. The engine air inlet, duct, and exhaust systems were all redesigned to reduce the device's sound character. Weichman's team handled this problem in a novel way. They used computer-aided design instead of the usual technique of constructing physical prototypes, testing them, making improvements, and then creating new prototypes. To model performance, they used the full capacity of the era's cutting-edge computer capabilities. Using this novel methodology, they were able to create component prototypes that nearly matched the final product, which was a departure from previous approaches. Many critics questioned if this allegedly extraterrestrial aircraft could even take flight before testing began. Rudy Haug, the chief pilot, famously built a paper model resembling the Bird of Prey, which, to everyone's astonishment, gracefully turned onto its back before soaring into the skies. Haug successfully lifted the genuine Bird of Prey into the skies in 1996. Its peak speed of 300 mph and ceiling height of 20,000 feet set no records. But that wasn't the intention. Boeing's experts did not set out to outperform the fighter planes of the day. Instead, they set out to demonstrate that it was possible to build a low-cost stealth aircraft. The project cost roughly $67 million, which is significantly less than the current cost of the F-35 Lightning II. The Bird of Prey's success altered the norms of aircraft design and production, prompting a radical shift in the industry. However, the Bird of Prey is no longer hidden away in the depths of Area 51. Instead, you may see it at the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Wright-Patterson, Ohio. Returning to the Black Triangle aircraft, consider the Aurora, which was distinct from the TR-3A. The enigmatic aircraft is capable of reaching an altitude of 135,000 feet and cruising at 90,000 feet. To accomplish these speeds, either a ramjet early scramjet or a new propulsion system, known as the pulse wave detonation engine, would be required. This pulse wave detonation engine propels the aircraft using tiny fuel detonations, producing a characteristic contrail like a ring of donuts. The propulsion system is distinguished by its use of supersonic fuel detonation, which makes it more efficient and quicker than typical jet engines or rocket engines. Because of the aircraft's unique qualities, it would be able to fly beyond the range of current anti-aircraft defenses while providing a larger range than the SR-71. The Aurora's main duty was espionage, which it accomplished by bridging the gap between spy satellites and slower aircraft or drones. It may run automatically or with one or two pilots. Given the minimal information provided, the specifics are hazy. Some even suggest that the name Aurora relates to the B-2 stealth bomber program rather than a specific aircraft. According to the U.S. authorities, the evidence supporting the Aurora is circumstantial or speculative. Nonetheless, Analysts feel that technological developments have now caught up with the program's original ambitions, and the Aurora plane may still be out there somewhere. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you like this video, you'll like the one that's currently playing on your screen. We'll see you there